The chandeliers of the Doha Convention Center cast a solemn light on an assembly of leaders, their faces etched with the gravity of the moment. The air, usually thick with diplomatic pleasantries, was instead charged with a sense of urgency. The calls grew louder, more insistent than ever before. From the podium, the Prime Minister of Pakistan spoke with a measured but firm tone. "The time has come," he declared, "for the Muslim world to forge its own shield. We cannot perpetually look to others for our security. We must have the capacity to defend our own." His statement was not a lone voice in the wilderness. It was a powerful crescendo in a growing chorus. This sentiment was swiftly amplified by others. An Iraqi foreign minister, representing a nation scarred by decades of conflict, spoke of a shared vulnerability. He argued that a collective security pact was not an aggressive posture, but a necessary defensive mechanism in an increasingly volatile world. Our nations have faced common threats, terrorism, external pressures. A unified military framework, an Islamic NATO, if you will, is the logical next step in ensuring our sovereignty and stability. The Egyptian president, a leader of one of the Arab world's most formidable military powers, added a strategic dimension to the discussion. The Doha summit, therefore, became a landmark event. At its core, the vision for an Islamic NATO is born from a powerful and enduring idea, the unity of the Ummah, the global community of Muslims. Proponents imagine an alliance that transcends national borders to create a united front capable of defending the interests and sovereignty of its member states. The primary goal is defensive. It is not about conquest, not about expansion, but about establishing a credible deterrent against external aggression. A collective security pact, an attack on any member, would trigger a unified response. Mutual defense as the cornerstone, ensuring no nation stands alone. Beyond deterring state-level aggression, confronting common internal threats, extremist groups, terrorist networks, a unified command structure, intelligence sharing, coordinated counterterrorism operations, joint training exercises for asymmetric warfare, a powerful tool for crisis response and humanitarian aid, earthquake in Turkey, earthquake in Pakistan, floods in Bangladesh, heavy lift aircraft, engineering battalions, medical corps, rapidly deployed for disaster relief. To understand the immense challenge of building an Islamic NATO, one must first look to the original model, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO was not born overnight. It was forged in the crucible of a post-war world. It was a direct response to a single existential threat, the expansionist ambitions of the Soviet Union. Established in 1949, the foundation was the Washington Treaty. Its core principle was Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. This shared perception created unprecedented political will. Western nations set aside historical rivalries and bound their fates in collective defense. NATO's structure is a masterclass in integration. It is far more than a paper alliance. It has a permanent integrated military command. Headquarters like shape coordinate multinational forces. Standardization is key. Ammunition calibers, communication protocols, operational procedures. Interoperability comes from decades of joint exercises, shared doctrines, a common defense planning process. The result, a credible fighting force, not disparate armies. Crucially, NATO's success rested on a single hegemon, the United States. America provided the nuclear umbrella, the bulk of conventional forces, the logistical backbone. The most formidable obstacle to an Islamic NATO is not external, but internal. It is the deep sectarian chasm that divides the Muslim world, primarily between Sunni and Shia communities. This is not merely a theological disagreement. It is a 1,400-year-old schism weaponized in modern geopolitics, fueling proxy wars Syria, Yemen. This divide pits an alliance's potential heavyweight members against each other. A Sunni-dominated alliance would likely be led by Saudi Arabia, Gulf allies. It would almost certainly be perceived by Shia-majority Iran and its partners as a hostile bloc. Iran, its partners. This fundamental mistrust makes a unified command structure seem fantastical. Shia officers, Sunni officers, officers serving side by side. This sectarian divide is further exacerbated by intense geopolitical rivalries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey. Each power harbors its own ambitions. Another critical weakness is technological and logistical dependency. Most Muslim-majority nations depend on foreign powers. Fighter jets, tanks, Surveillance systems come with strings attached. The question of leadership is perhaps the most intractable puzzle in the formation of an Islamic NATO. An effective military alliance cannot be a committee of equals. It requires a center of gravity, a leading power, to provide direction, resources, and strategic vision. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with its immense oil wealth and its status as the home of Mecca and Medina, naturally sees itself as the leader of the Sunni world. It has the financial resources to bankroll such an alliance and has already made attempts to form smaller military coalitions. Looming as a direct challenger is the Islamic Republic of Iran. With a large, battle-hardened military and a network of influential proxies across the region, Iran commands a powerful bloc of its own. A third major power, Turkey, further complicates the leadership equation. Possessing the second-largest army in NATO and a rapidly growing domestic defense industry, under President Erdogan, it has pursued an increasingly assertive foreign policy. However, Turkey's ambitions often clash with those of both Saudi Arabia and Egypt. Even if the political will existed, the creation of a fully integrated Islamic NATO could not happen overnight. It would be a long and arduous journey unfolding in distinct stages over many years, if not decades. The first, most realistic step would be symbolic and diplomatic. High-level summits, declarations culminating in a formal treaty, a founding charter to establish collective defense outline the alliance's basic mission. Lacking immediate military teeth, but crucial to build political momentum and a framework for cooperation. The second stage would move from symbolism to practical, albeit limited, cooperation. Joint counter-terrorism initiatives, intelligence sharing on non-state threats, coordinated border security patrols. We might see the establishment of a joint intelligence fusion center. The third, more ambitious stage would involve the creation of a credible joint military capability. This would likely start with the formation of a rapid reaction force. This would require significant investment in shared logistics, airlift capacity, and most importantly, a unified command and control structure for the force itself. The final, aspirational stage would be full military integration, mirroring the structure of NATO itself. This final stage remains a distant ideal, a strategic horizon that is far more a dream of perfect unity than a practical, near-term objective. So we are left with a profound and compelling question. Is the vision of an Islamic NATO an achievable strategic goal for the 21st century? Or is it destined to remain a powerful, but ultimately unrealizable ideal? The arguments against it are formidable, rooted in centuries of history and the harsh realities of modern geopolitics. The deep sectarian rift between Sunni and Shia Islam, personified by the Cold War between Saudi Arabia and Iran, acts as a fundamental fracture line that runs directly through the heart of any potential alliance. This is not a simple political disagreement that can be negotiated away. It is a clash of identities and regional ambitions that has fueled devastating conflicts, the rivalries for leadership, the crippling dependence on Western military technology, the sheer diversity of political systems present further almost insurmountable hurdles. An alliance requires trust, and trust is the scarcest commodity in the region. It requires a willingness to compromise national interests for the collective good, yet one cannot dismiss the vision so easily. The call for such an alliance is not fading, it is growing stronger. It is fueled by a genuine and widespread desire for self-reliance, dignity, and an end to the foreign interventions that have defined the region's recent history. The answer remains unwritten.